Do you need to buy and sell a house at the same time? It could be really hard or it could be really easy, but either way, with the right strategy, it can be done. My name is Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for over 12 years, and I have been loving Houston since 1987. Let's get into it. All right, so you need to sell before you buy, or maybe you don't, or you don't know. So, first of all, how do we find out if you have to sell before you buy? In the realtor world, we call this contingent. So, in order to find out if you are contingent or not, or at what price you are or are not contingent, if that makes sense, you first need to speak to a lender. The lender needs to go through your finances with you, and they will ultimately tell you if you are contingent or not. Now, let's say you don't have to sell in order to buy at 800, but if you want to go to 1.1, you have to sell. And that's what I mean. What price are you contingent or not? So if you are contingent at a certain whatever price the house is that you want to buy, we have to put a contingent offer on the table, and the seller has to agree to your contingency. This also means that your house has to be under contract or at minimum has to be on the market. It is a very tricky little tango that you are going to have to play, and it can definitely be done. And I've helped people through it, but it can be very stressful if you are truly like brass tacks contingent. Now, in an ideal world, we would move you before we put your house on the market so you don't have to deal with showings. Not everyone has that luxury. Ideally, we would help you buy first, move out, then we would prep your house and put it on the market. But if you don't have that option, there are a couple more avenues to explore. You could take out a HELOC, which is short for a home equity line of credit. And the HELOC amount could be what you put as a down payment on the new house. You could do a bridge loan, or you could choose to buy at the amount that you are not contingent at. And then when we get the proceeds of your old house in the bank, you can do with the lender something that we call a one-time recast of the loan. So let's say you're buying up at 800,000 and you're selling your old house at 500 and your net profit at your old house is 200 grand. We can just put your $200,000 into the new house payment. So they're going to recast the loan. So you're going to work this out with your lender. So let's say you only did the minimum down payment on your new house at 800,000. When you sell the old house at 500 and you take your $200,000 net profit, you're going to say, "Hey lender, I have 200K. I want to do a one-time recast of the loan." The lender is going to take the 200,000, apply it to your principal, and then recalculate your payments over the 30-year period ahead of you. So these are creative solutions to the contingency problem. But if you are truly contingent, then what we have to do is we have to photograph your house, get it ready for market, and we have to put it on the market, and you do have to live in it while it's for sale. And then only when you go under contract can you really reasonably start looking for houses. And then we kind of have to hold our breath while your buyer is under contract and during their inspection period because you never know if they're going to change their mind or not. And then in this time period, what's going to happen is we're going to go out looking for your new house during your buyer's option period. And we're going to have to put in a contingent offer, and we'll have to add the contingency addendum to your contract. And we'll have to tell the seller, "Hey, seller, this buyer cannot close on your house unless they sell their old house." And there's going to be some deadlines in the contingency addendum. There will be rules to play by. It'll be all very clearly set forth. and everyone will know our drop dead dates. Now, I have had many people be successful with contingent offers. It can just be a landmine, though. You just have to be very, very careful. And I, as your agent, listing your old property and helping you buy the new property, I have to have very clear and regular communication with the listing agent on your new property and with the buyer's agent on your old property. And Lord forbid that the buyer on your old property is not contingent, because if they're contingent, then we also have to have great and clear communication with the buyer's agent on your buyer's house, if you're following me. So sometimes this is a chain reaction. That's why I'm making this video about contingencies, because it's not always very straightforward. And that's why if you have the opportunity to buy your house and close and move out first, that is always the best option. But not everyone can do that, and that's totally fine. But when we go the contingent route, you just have to have such a extra hyper level of vigilance and care during every step of the process. You have to over communicate, oversimplify. You have to keep tabs on everything, every date in the contract. So you also have to kind of see around the corner. You have to kind of feel what's happening in both the purchase and the sale at the same time. And this requires being delicate in negotiations. It requires a give and a take. It requires maybe you need to concede on something for your buyer in order for you to move forward on your new property. And none of these circumstances are ever the same. Everything is different because residential real estate is still so emotional and so human. People have been trying to automate the realtor out of this process for decades now, and no one has really been successful because residential real estate is an emotional and a human process. And so you just need to have extra care in both transactions at the same time to make sure that you can get to your goalpost. And we do this by making sure we don't ask too much, or sometimes we have to push a little harder here to obtain our goal. Here, again, every circumstance is different. So if you need to buy and sell at the same time, I would be honored at a chance to earn your business. But if I'm not the person that you choose to help you buy and sell at the same time, and you are actually contingent, then you need to take great care in selecting your agent. You need to select someone that has grit, tenacity, but a delicate side is an extremely good communicator, someone that is always on top of the dates, somebody that has very good relationships with everybody, with the lender, with the inspector, with the title company, with all the other agents involved. It is a very delicate balance, and one little thing could throw it off. So whoever you choose to help you through one of the most stressful and most high emotional times that you will ever experience in your adult life, just make sure you choose the right agent with a great communication style, patience, and experience. Okay. So if you would like to talk about a potential buy sell, I would be honored. Please text, email, or reach out via comment or phone call, and I would love an opportunity to chat with you. And again, my name is Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for over 12 years, and I've been loving Houston since 1987. I shall see you on the next one. Bye.